Right, okay. So let's discuss about the system databases, guys. Okay, let's discuss about the system databases. So when you install SQL Server, generally, guys, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, then.
Yes.
Okay. So when you install SQL Server, generally you will get four system databases. Under databases, under system databases, you can see four system databases. So what are these system databases? Okay. So what is the usage of each system databases? How master is useful? How model is useful? How MSDB? How TempDB? Okay. And how they are going to start? What in case if they are down? What will happen? All these things we'll discuss, guys. So generally, actually, when you install SQL Server, you will get five system databases. Okay, you will get five system databases. So what are those five system databases, guys? Please be muted.
Master.
Master, model, MSDB, TempDB,
Tempo DB.
and we have one more system database called resource database. Resource database. This resource database is a hidden database, guys. You cannot see this resource database in the management studio. Okay, that's why you can see only four system databases. That resource database is hidden, you cannot see. I'll show you the files. Okay, nothing to worry, I'll show you the files. So as discussed, whenever you create or whenever SQL Server creates a database, automatically two files you will get it, one data file, one log file. So master will get two files, model will get two, MSDB will get two, TempDB will get two, and resource DB also will get two files, guys. One data file, one log file. This is the mechanism, guys. Without log file I cannot create database, without data file I cannot create log file, or without data file I cannot create database. It's mandatory, two files are mandatory. Okay. So what master will do, guys? What master will do? So master generally will store the, okay, master generally will store the logical information related to the SQL server. So metadata, what is this metadata, guys? Metadata means data about the data. Metadata means data about the data. Say for example, if I ask you some metadata about you, so what is the metadata, guys? Okay, so your height is the metadata, your weight is the metadata. So this kind of information, metadata kind of information, will be stored in the master database. Means how many databases are there across SQL server, how many files are there across SQL server, how many tables are there across SQL server. Okay, so all these kind of metadata, logins information, logins, how many logins are there in the SQL server, logins information and their password information, passwords information. Okay, and files, this database will have two files, right? Master data file and log data file, and the same way model data file and log file for the model database. So each file, system databases and user databases, each databases will have its own data files and log files. So master will store the location of each file, guys. Where is the model data file log file located? Where is the MSDB data file log file located? Where is the TempDB data file log file located? Where is the resource DB data file log file located? Where is like batch 46 data file log file located? PhonePe database data file log file located. So the paths of other databases will be stored in the master database. So whenever you are starting a database, first it will check the paths in the master database. Based on the paths, okay, so and so path. See here, for example, if you go to this file, if you go to this location, okay, if you open the C drive, program files, Microsoft SQL Server, instance root directory, MS SQL data. So this path, okay, this path will be stored in the master database, guys. It knows, okay, the master database knows paths of each files. So whenever you are starting a batch 46, so batch 46 location, data file location is this one. So while starting the database, it will check the files in the master catalog. So yes, in the master catalog the files are there in this location. So then it will check physically that file is existed or not. It will go to that and it will check physically that file is yes existed. Then only this batch 46 will comes to online. Whenever you restart the SQL server, this is very common. Whenever you restart the SQL server, whenever you start the SQL server, this is what will happen generally in the backend, guys. Okay, if suddenly someone deleted this file, imagine if someone deleted this file. Now when you restart the SQL server, this database won't be online. Why? Because SQL server master database, it will check the path in the master database. As per master database, the files are existed in this location, but in this location the physical file is deleted by someone. Okay, file not found, and database will goes to recovery pending state, guys. So master database will store the logical information of all the databases, data files information, log files information, their paths, where is the path of each database, each data file, and logins information and their passwords information, SQL Server settings information, SQL Server configuration information. Everything will be stored in the master database logically. So master is very crucial database, guys. Master is very crucial database. Okay, so without master there is no SQL server. Why? Because SQL server will run based on the master database data file log file only. If your master database is corrupted, or if your master database is deleted, then I'm sorry, your SQL server won't start, guys. So master is a kind of brain of the SQL server. Master is a kind of a brain of the SQL server. Without brain, how humans can't exist in the same way without master. Okay, SQL server won't exist, guys. SQL server won't be started, it won't exist. So master is very important. So every time first master database only will start. Why? Because it knows the path of other databases. If master started, then only other, it will track other databases including other system databases also. So if all the databases are existed, especially the system databases are existed, then only SQL server will start. Otherwise, if any of the system database or data file is not existed or log file is not existed, generally SQL server won't start, guys. This is the importance of the master database. Linked servers information, remote servers information. Okay, so if there is no master database, we cannot start the SQL server. Instance level configuration settings also will be stored in the master database, one of the core database to manage the SQL server. So this kind of information will be stored in the master database, guys. So this is very important, and whenever you start the SQL server, generally first master database will start, right? So model database, guys. So what is this model database? How model is useful? Okay, so where we are going to use this model database? So if you see here, the second database in the system databases is model database. What is the usage of this model database? Model will act as a template for the newly created database. Model will act as a template for the newly created database. It is also crucial. All system databases are crucial databases, guys, but among those five system database, master is very crucial. Okay, model will act as a template for the newly created databases. Okay, newly created databases. Model, you know, right? Model, what is the meaning of model? He is my role model. Okay, so we'll call like role model and all. What it means we'll try to follow him, we'll try to imitate him. Correct? Right, guys? He's my role model means we'll try to imitate our role model, we'll try to follow our role model. So what is the exact use of model database? Whenever you are creating a database, if you see here, whenever you are creating a database, okay, so what we are doing actually, I am just giving the name, but from where you are getting this data file, log file, this primary file group, and this 8 MB, 64 MB, and the path and all, from where you are getting all these values, all these settings, guys? From where you are getting? You can guess. Model database. Model database. So you are, whenever you are creating a, why you can create database that much quick? Why? Because indirectly you are renaming a copy of the model database. This is actually a copy of the model database. If you want to create a new database, you are selecting a new database option, right click new database. So a copy of the model database will be created and you are renaming the copy of the model database. That's why by default you are getting these values. You can see 8 MB, 8 MB, 64 MB, 64 MB path, right? Let me do small magic. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'll change the properties of the model database. So instead of 8 MB, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give 64 MB. Okay, so let me click OK. Auto growth, what I'll do, I'll give in percentage 25 percentage. Okay, click OK. Right, you can see, remember these values now. Click OK. So now let me create a new database. So now if you see here, earlier it is 8 MB, 8 MB, 64 MB, 64 MB. Now if you see here, primary file size 64 MB, secondary 8 MB, by percentage 25 percentage. Okay, what it means, indirectly you are creating a copy of the model database and you are renaming it, guys. You are renaming it in this way. That's why you can able to create database that much quickly. With just by giving one name, you are able to create, means what? You are simply renaming one copy of the model database. So model will act as a model template for the newly created database. Template means, you know, right? For example, you are driving and you got a call and you can either lift the call or you can send a template message. I am driving, call you later. I am in meeting, call you later. Means one pretext is already there. You have to simply select that pretext. Automatically the template will goes to the recipient, those who are calling. He will get a message, I am in driving, call you later, so that he don't disturb you. You cannot type I am in driving during the driving, right? So it's very difficult, right? So simply you will select the existing message and it will send it to the recipient automatically. In the same way, model database means it will act as a template for the newly created database. And when you create any database, generally you can see some objects will come, like views and all, some system views and all will come. I haven't created any of these kind of objects in my batch 46, but how come I got all these objects? From my model. In the model, automatically these objects will be there. So whenever you are creating any database, those objects will be copied to the newly created database, guys. So this is how generally, okay, things will work. So model is a kind of a template for the newly created databases. Whenever you are creating a new database, you are actually renaming a copy of the model database. Generally that's how the model database will helpful. Guys, is model database is critical database or normal optional database? Is it a critical? So in case if my model database is corrupted, can I start the SQL server? If my model is corrupted, can I start the SQL server?
Yes.
Yes.
You can start.
Okay. So if my model is corrupted, you can start the SQL. Can I create the new databases if my model is corrupted?
No.
Sorry, default.
I cannot create the new database. Okay. So I'll tell you the answer later. Okay. I'll tell you the answer once we are discussing this TempDB. You'll came to know. Okay. Answers for these questions. Okay. 1 minute, guys. One minute. Okay, fine. So that is how it will work, guys. Okay, so model will act as a template for the newly created database. This is also very important database. Next is MSDB. MSDB is a kind of optional database, guys. Not so critical database when compared to other system databases. It's an optional database. MSDB is responsible for automation, guys. Automation. It's responsible for For automation, what is this automation and all, we'll discuss, guys. So for example, I told you, right, backups are very important in the SQL server. So in the server, generally you will have 10 databases, 100 databases, or 500 databases, don't know, depends upon the server size. So only one server itself, if you are having 100 databases, you will have hundreds of servers. How many databases you will deal? Almost 2000 plus databases you have to deal. So it's a primary responsibility of a DBA to make sure all these databases are having backups. But is it possible to take the backup of all the 2000 databases every day manually? Not possible, right?
No.
Manually it
No,
can
not
take
possible.
2000. Why? Because we are not belongs to backup team. We are belongs to DBA team. So lot of tickets you will get it. So it's not at all possible to take 2000 backups daily.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so for that we'll believe the automation. So we have to depends on the automation. Automation means automated things. So automatically you will create one job. That job will run for every, you can give the schedule every 1 hour. It will take the backups automatically on all the 2000 databases. That is called automation. How can we achieve automation? Jobs. Through jobs maintenance plans we can achieve the automation. That jobs maintenance plans automation related information will be stored in the MSDB. MSDB is responsible for automation. Okay, it will also store SSIS related information, guys. SSIS packages related information it will store. SSIS integration services package related information also it will store. So it will store the log shipping related information, it will store backups related information, it will store restore related information. So lot of important tables will be there in the MSDB, guys. Backups history, restore history, log shipping history, SSIS packages history, all the jobs history, everything will be stored in the MSDB. So MSDB is responsible for automation. It's a kind of optional when compared to other system databases. It's not so critical, guys. MSDB is not so critical. So even this, if this MSDB is down, but still SQL Server will be up and running. Some jobs won't run. Why? Because jobs based on the MSDB only, right? So if MSDB is down, your jobs won't run properly, but your server will be up and running, guys. Okay, this is one more system database. TempDB. Okay, so TempDB is a temporary database, guys. So very important database. Without TempDB, there is no SQL Server again. So very important database. So it will store the things temporarily until the data processing is done. It will store the data temporarily, guys. So for example, now we applied some filters, right? Select star from employees where salary greater than 10,000 rupees, where employee belongs to, where employee location is equal to Hyderabad. You are applying filters, right? When you are applying filters out of 100 records, imagine 100 records are out of 1000 records, 10 employees are there from Hyderabad. Okay, the 10 employees information you can see on the screen. That's a temporary results. The data processing will be done in the TempDB, and you can see the temporary results. I said like if you have 1000 records, if you apply a filter, the records won't be deleted, but it will show you temporarily those results. Temporarily you can see the 10 records from the Hyderabad location. If you remove that condition, where condition, you can see all the 1000 records again. So you don't remove, but it will create a temporary table for the results. This is just an example, guys. Don't think only TempDB will do this. This is just an example. This is how data will be processed in the TempDB. For that example only I gave this. Okay, so TempDB means it will be responsible for the temporary data. All the data processing will be done in the TempDB only. All the data processing, all the data sorting will be done in the TempDB only. So TempDB is very crucial. If there is no TempDB, you cannot do that data processing. What is the basic principle of the SQL server? To store the data, to process the data, to retrieve the data. If you can't process the data, what is the use of the SQL server? Without TempDB, I cannot process the data. So without TempDB, there is no SQL server, guys. TempDB is also reusable kind of thing. Okay, if you are having lot of transactions, it will use temporary database. Okay, and if the transactions are completed, again TempDB will be freed up. It will be free. Okay, so TempDB data files and log files will keep growing, and again it will be shrinked automatically. So this kind of mechanism, why? Because it will store the data temporarily. So we cannot store the data permanently in the TempDB. So if you are storing data permanently, then the database size will grow. You are storing the data temporarily means at one point the temporary data will be deleted, right? So TempDB size will vary, guys, every time. Okay, sometimes if you have a lot of transactions, if you have a lot of data to process, TempDB will grow like anything. If you have less transactions, TempDB will be shrinked automatically. And one more property of this TempDB is TempDB will be newly created when you restart the SQL server. When you restart the SQL server, every time a new TempDB will be created, guys. Every time new TempDB will be created. If you restart now, new TempDB will be created. If you restart after 1 hour, again new TempDB will be created. So it's a temporary database. When you restart the SQL server, the existing TempDB will be dropped and it will create a new TempDB. So generally that's why data won't be stored permanently in the TempDB, guys. All the data processing, data sorting, everything will be done in TempDB only. Without TempDB, there is no SQL server. So I asked you one question, and this is very important point. When you restart the SQL server, a new TempDB file will, new TempDB will be created, new TempDB will be created, new TempDB will be created. Now let's come back to our question, model database. If my model is down, can I start my SQL server? Apply the TempDB properties here and tell me the answer.
No.
Why no? Is it inky pinky ponky no, or
No.
why
Like
no? There should be a reason, right?
yeah,
Is it
model
talk?
database.
Sorry?
It's a model of,
Model database is
Yes,
down, no?
yes,
it's a
yes.
template of a
It's
model database. That's why
Correct,
we can.
yeah,
correct. Very
temporary.
good, very good. So whenever you start the SQL server, a new TempDB will be created. So what are the files? What should be the files, and what should be the location of the TempDB files and all? Depends on model database. If model is down, you cannot create TempDB. If there is no TempDB, SQL server won't start. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear, everyone? Any questions here? So if there is no TempDB, where the data will be processed, where the data will be sorted, so there is no location other than TempDB. Please be muted. Please be muted.
आवाज नाही आवाज नाही येत त्याच्यातला मॅडम.
So if there is no TempDB, okay, so SQL Server won't start. If there is no model DB, TempDB won't start. So A is equal to B, B is equal to C, A is equal to C. So if there is no model database, SQL Server won't start. If the model database is deleted or corrupted, SQL Server won't start, guys. Okay, this is your model database and TempDB. Finally, resource database, guys. Okay, resource database. So resource database generally.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes, please.
Already you have a log file,
Log
but
file.
why we again TempDB?
See, that is log file will store the data, correct. Log file will store the data temporarily, but in the log file data processing won't be done. That's why I mentioned processing. Processing will be done in TempDB only. Got the point? Processing means what? Just now I gave an example. For example, if you want to apply some filters, when you're applying filters out of 100 records, you might get 10 or 20 records. Where those processing will be done? That will be done in TempDB. Log file, don't think this is also stores the data temporarily. TempDB also stores the data temporarily. Temp matching, not like that. Okay, the log file, until the data is committed, the data will be stored in the log file temporarily, but the processing, the sorting of data will be done in TempDB only. So without TempDB, there is no processing, there is no kind of what we can say sorting and all will be done. So TempDB is very crucial. Clear?
So we can't take the backup from TempDB?
Yes, of course. How can you take the backup of TempDB? You cannot take the backup of TempDB. Why? Because TempDB contains okay, temporary data. So temporary data means unsorted data will be there. So unsorted data where you are going to restore it again. So and the two, it's not a permanent database. It will recreate every time. So that is one more reason you cannot take the backup of the TempDB.
Can we restore the database using TempDB?
No, how come? You cannot restore. You cannot restore database from any other database, guys. You can only restore if you have that specific database backup. Okay? Don't think in the TempDB it will store the whole copy of another database. It won't store, only for the processing purpose of some queries. That's it.
Only system database have TempDB named databases.
See, that's what I'm saying. TempDB is not per database. TempDB is per server. The whole SQL server will have one TempDB. It's not master will have one TempDB, model will have one TempDB, system database is one TempDB, user database is one TempDB, morning one TempDB, night one TempDB, not like that. Okay, so for the whole instance, only one TempDB will be existed. That is the common workplace, guys. See, if you are in an office, okay, so if you go to office, you will come from one area, another colleague will come from one area, another colleague will come from one area. So different people will come to the office and they will work. That's a common workplace. Okay, so in the same way for all databases, TempDB is the common workplace. So it's not like system databases will have one TempDB and user databases will have separate TempDB, not like that. Across the SQL server, only one TempDB will be there. All databases should use the TempDB only for data processing and all. Okay, any other questions, guys? Fine. So resource database, okay, resource database is actually a kind of master database, guys. Mainly it's responsible for patching. Patching means updating, guys, updating SQL server with the latest updates, applying the latest updates. Applying the latest updates is called patching. Okay, applying the latest updates is called patching. So mainly resource database is responsible for patching. Whatever bill number you can see, that comes from the resource database actually. This information will be stored, this bill number information will be stored in the resource database, guys. Okay, and one more thing is resource database and master and resource database both are, okay, both are wife and husband kind of thing. Wife and husband kind of thing, not wife and husband. Okay, okay, so wife and husband kind of thing. So whatever data you are storing in the master, that will be stored in the master logically, but the physical storage is resource database, guys. Due to security reasons, resource database is hidden. You cannot see the resource database in the management studio. Okay, you cannot see here. But what is the proof? Show me the proof. I want proof. Okay, so go to this data location, go back, you can see bin and folder. So if any database is there, two files will be created, right? Data file and log file. Go to bin and folder and just hit M. Okay, you can see the two files. One is MS SQL system resource, which is data file, and MS SQL system resource, which is log file. Sir, how to identify which one is data file, which one is log file? If you see table, okay, in the icon, that is data file. If you see notepad, small rough notes kind of thing, okay, small page, this is notepad icon, right? If you see just notepad, that is log file. See here, when I keep my cursor, you can see it was prompting transaction log file. Log file, transaction log file, both are same, guys. The full name is transaction log file. It will store the transactions, right? So that's why transaction log file. Clear, guys? So system resource database is very crucial database like master. So resource database is responsible for patchings, and the bill numbers information will be stored in the resource database. Okay, resource and master both are hyphen wife and husband, or wife and a girlfriend. So whatever you want to call, you can call it, guys. But very crucial database. Resource database is also very crucial database. If there is no resource database, then you cannot start the SQL server due to security reasons. Microsoft is hidden this resource database in the object explorer, but you can still see the files of resource database under bin folder. Okay, so this is all about your system databases, guys. Any questions, any doubts? So only 5 system databases, okay, as of now. Master, model, MSDB, TempDB and resource database. 4 system database you can see in the object explorer. Resource database you cannot see, it was hidden, but you can see the files of resource database in the instance root directory bin folder, guys. Okay, fine. These are important points. Sometimes they will ask you, okay, so about system database and all, you should be very careful. They might ask you about any system database. You should learn these things, guys. So yesterday we discussed, right, database IDs. Okay, so before database IDs, let's discuss about this. So we have 5 system databases, right? Out of this 5 system database, when you start the SQL server, which database will comes to online first? Can anyone tell me the order of system databases which are coming online?
Master.
Okay, very good. Very good. Master. Then after master, model. Next.
Msdb,
Next.
TempDB.
Very good. That's it, huh? You forgot your wife. Don't want?
Resource.
Resource database. Okay. So first master,
Master resource.
then resource. You cannot, okay, miss the wife. Okay. So master, resource, and then model. After this, model database will start. Okay, right? And then after this, your TempDB will start. Finally, MSDB. MSDB is an optional database, right? So first these system databases will start, and then finally MSDB will start. After this, your user databases. In our case, batch 46, PhonePe. So this is how the order of databases will comes to online. First master will comes to online. Why? Because master knows the paths of other databases. If master not coming online, means other databases cannot come online. So SQL server cannot come online, guys. Okay, so this is how generally databases will comes to online. So they might ask you this question. This is an interview question, guys. So first master will come online, then immediately resource will follow, master, resource, and then model, and then temp, and then finally MSDB. Okay, so without model, TempDB can't come online, right? So that's why first model will start. Then they will ask why not TempDB? Why model DB will start first when compared to TempDB? Why? Because based on the TempDB only, based on the model DB only, TempDB will start, right? So before temp, model will start. Based on the model, TempDB will start. So like that you have to explain, guys. And IDs, database IDs. So how to find database IDs? What is the query, guys? Can anyone tell me the query to find the database IDs? Query. Yesterday we discussed.
Select star from
Select star
sys dot
from-
databases.
Okay. Let's try select star from sys dot
Databases.
databases. Right. Okay. So if you see here, this is one way to find the databases with IDs. Okay. So you can see here, master database ID is 1, TempDB 2, model 3, MSDB 4. After, like, you can see, okay, 5, 7, 5, 6, very 6, 6, guys. Why I cannot see 6?
Deleted.
Very good. So I just deleted one database. Okay, so in which order you will create a database? First I created batch 46, then I created GPay, which is database ID 6, Then I created phone pay database id 7, like that it will follow 8 9 10, like that 32,767 files for databases you can create, right? So as I deleted database id 6, so that's why I cannot see 6 here. And first master id is 1. After that tempdb is very crucial. Id wise they mentioned, okay, which database is very crucial, and also master is 1 and tempdb is 2 and model is 3 and msdb is 4 id wise. But starting wise master will start first and then resource and then yes model and then final tempdb and msdb, guys. Okay, so id wise little bit difference will be there when compared to the database that they are starting, okay, when you start the SQL server, guys. So what is the id for resource database? id for resource database, guys.
No ID.
No id. What's your name? Yeah. How old are you?
2 years.
2 years. Okay, what is the id, guys, for resource database?
1.
1. Then what about 1 master? You will give same rank to wife and husband.
No IDs.
It is hidden data. No ID.
Okay, so actually it has an id. Okay, so where I can say I cannot see like this, I can also use sp underscore help db, guys, to find the database names, sizes, ids and all. But there also I cannot see resource database. Okay, you can see the ids here. Fine. And we have one query, guys, select star from sys.sysalt files. Okay, select star from sys.sysalt files. If you execute this query, there you can see all the files. This will help you to find all the files in which location the files are there. For example, if you don't know, sir, I want to see the location of, I don't know which location the files are stored physically, so I want to see each database is, each data file and log file is storing in which location I want to see. You can use this sys.sysalt files. You can see the file names and you can see the paths also in which location the files are stored. And if you see here, if you expand this dvid column, so if you see here, what is this, guys? For which database it is?
Resource.
Okay, so what is the id of the resource database?
32761.
The last database is the resource database. Okay, id wise the last database is resource database. You can see the location of resource, in which location it is there, bin and folder. Okay, so these questions they might ask in the interview, guys. That's all about the databases. Any questions, let me know. Otherwise we are good to close the session for now. We'll connect in the evening at 6 p.m. Okay, and we'll start discussing patching, guys. Patching is very important. Fine, good. Any questions? And assignment, please don't forget that assignment, guys. I asked you to create tables, I asked you to apply some filters. Okay, so please don't miss it. If you have completed, just send me the screenshot in the WhatsApp. Okay, all right, guys. Any questions? No questions? Okay, then that's fine. So I'll upload the videos topic by topic, guys. Okay, that's why I'm just stopping the recording and again restarting it for topic by topic. So you might see, okay, the classes in the numbering classes and all. You can see the classes as per the numbers, class 5, class 6, class 7. Follow the numbering, guys. Okay, so whatever you want, you can just follow with the help of numberings. So you have to follow the serial order, you will get a better idea. Okay, fine, guys, that's it for now. We'll connect in the evening.
Sir, can you upload the videos now? This video.
Not now, it will take time. Okay, it will take some time to process the video. Actually, first it has to process in my laptop, then it has to process in the YouTube. Okay, so it will take time, guys. By evening or by afternoon you will get the recordings. Okay, fine.
Actually, I was missed first 20 minutes.
No, it will take time. Okay, don't miss it. That's why you cannot miss the class. Okay, fine, guys. Okay, so we'll connect in the evening at 6 p.m. Bye.